Do you remember the good old days of Call of Duty? The times where people were actually buying Call of Duty games because of its story and because of its campaign. And yes, even though multiplayer was always big and a big part of everyone's childhood from back then, the campaign was still a very big thing. And year after year, it downgraded and downgraded and downgraded and downgraded until people did not play this game anymore. At least not for the campaign. And I'm not gonna lie, Black Ops 6 was actually the first Call of Duty game that I have ever played on launch. Yeah, just played, because I didn't buy it. And I'm not gonna lie, I never thought that I would enjoy playing Call of Duty, but I absolutely did. But to be fair, there were a few factors that played a huge role in it. And let me explain what I mean by that. So in this video, we're going to be reviewing Call of Duty Black Ops 6 campaign only, because that's the only thing that I actually played extensively, and I will tell you whether it's worth buying or not. Well, first things first, let me tell you this one thing. This game is actually first Call of Duty that will be available on a Game Pass day one. And that's how I played it. I didn't pay 70 bucks for it. I got it through a Game Pass. And on the PC, you can do it through PC Game Pass, which in my region costs $12 per month. So I basically paid 12 bucks to play Call of Duty's campaign, which is an absolute steal. It's an absolutely amazing deal. And as for the campaign itself, whether I enjoyed it or not, let me give you the answer straight away. I actually absolutely did. This was not something absolutely unique. This was not the thing that I've never played or seen anywhere else, but this was an experience that I did not expect from Call of Duty campaign. And I absolutely loved it. But let me explain what this campaign is and why I actually liked it. And why do I think that many core Call of Duty fans will not. So first things first, this is not a long story campaign. And at this point, if you're expecting anything like 10 to 20 hours from Call of Duty, yeah, you're playing a wrong game. I actually completed this game in around 8 hours on a regular difficulty. And I did this by doing some amount of side objectives. Yes, you have side objectives in this game as well. So if you want to complete this game at fastest, it will take around 6 to 7 hours. And at slowest, if you want 100% it, maybe it will take around 10 hours. But usually no longer than this one. And campaign is happening in 1991. And even though many people were expecting this to happen during the Gulf War, well, it is happening during the Gulf War, but not a lot of things in this game are happening within the Gulf War. I mean, you're not touching a lot of war itself. You're playing as CIA operatives. By the way, I'm not going to be spoiling anything to you except for very, very basic things and except for gameplay, but no story spoilers at all. And this game is actually not a military shooter. It's technically a spy game. And to be fair, I kind of expect this from the Black Ops games, but not gonna lie, I haven't played any Black Ops games except for the first ones. And main thing that is different with this year's Call of Duty is the variety in missions. You see, if you're expecting a straight linear path like older Modern Warfares or even older Black Ops games, you're not gonna see it here. This is not a straightforward linear game. You have 11 missions in this game and only very few of them, I think the only first 2 or 3, are actual linear levels. All the other levels have their twist on them. And this twist is directly taken from a lot of different games. Like for example, between missions, you actually have a hub area, which you can upgrade. Well, not really upgrade. We only have 3 main upgrades, and these upgrades are basically places where you level up your character by adding some additional perks, like increased reload speed, or more ammo found, or increased damage or health, and things like that. And you are doing these upgrades by finding money on levels. So it basically kind of adds like a base building element. It's not anything huge, but it also allows you to communicate with other characters in your group, which I actually kind of liked, especially with a very high level of face animations. It was quite interesting experience. But where the first big deviation from the average Call of Duty gameplay occurred to me was during a Bill Clinton mission. Again, I'm not spoiling you anything, I'm just gonna call them some random names. And you will understand what I mean by that when you get to that level. And that mission was actually quite interesting. It was more of a spy game where you are talking to different people, trying to get information or other things that you want from them, rather than just straight up shootout. Yes, level ends of course with an action set piece with a lot of shooting, but yeah, this twist in the beginning actually was pretty interesting. And most importantly, with this game, you actually have an ability to complete the level in 2 different paths. First of all, guns blazing by killing anyone and everyone, and second with stealth, during which you still kill anyone and everyone, but silently. You have a bunch of different gadgets to do so, and it actually incentivizes 2 different types of playthroughs. The next mission that was very interesting to me, which was present in previous Call of Duty games, but because I didn't play a lot of previous Call of Duty games, it was quite a surprise for me, was an open level mission, like Warzone-esque mission, where you actually have 3 main objectives and bunch of side objectives. And the whole point of doing side objective is actually to unlock a few kill streaks, like an ability to call a helicopter with a minigun or an ability to do a bombing run, both of which will be very useful in a next mission, which I absolutely like. This incentivized more to explore this large level, which was not actually very big, and you had a vehicle that you could move around and a lot of ways to clear the objectives. I actually enjoyed this level quite a lot. And surprisingly enough, this game has quite a few horror elements in the game. Like for example, you have 2 very distinct missions that are horror inspired. They're not actually particularly particularly scary, but it might be for some. Like, for example, one level, again, no spoilers, looks very much exactly like a game Control. Like the environment, the atmosphere, everything looks and feels quite eerie. I would not say scary, but very tense and eerie. Also on this level you have mannequins that are sprinkled around the level, which if you will not be looking at them, they will start moving and attacking you. So in order to stop them, you actually need to look at them, which was actually pretty cool. Again, nothing new and nothing you haven't seen anywhere else, but still pretty cool nonetheless. And you also have this type of similar level a bit later in the game. Again, no spoilers. There's also a heist mission in the game, which involves like Casino Royale style of level, where you actually play against other people, and you actually have to win it in order to gain access to some restricted areas, while other characters are doing other things, and you are actually playing with all the different characters in all different spots and places, and in all the different times as well, which I actually absolutely enjoy. And it's actually quite difficult to talk about this without spoiling anything, but even without spoilers, entire playthrough felt quite fun for me. I did not expect anything like that from the game like Call of Duty, and I actually absolutely enjoyed it. And I know there are a lot of people who did not enjoy this because they felt it like was too different, it was not very linear. Yeah, well, core Call of Duty players expect something that is only just a straight path, but I do not want games like that, and this time Call of Duty was exactly the thing that I wanted. Also, one more gripe that some people had was about the armored enemies. Yes, there are some enemies that are basically bullet sponges and very difficult to kill. Then to be fair, they were never a huge problem for me because I almost always use some type of gadgets and explosives to kill them, so they were really not a big issue for me on any point in the game. But I understand that why it might be for some people who just want to run straight guns blazing and not doing anything else. But of course there's an elephant in the room, and this elephant is quite big, and if you go to his Steam, you will understand why. Because people are absolutely hating on this game, and rightfully so, because even though campaign is quite good, they quite enjoyed it, actually getting to a campaign is the biggest pain in the ass that you will ever experience in any type of gaming. Because who thought that you need to have a launcher within a launcher that launches the specific type of the game that you want? Now what do I mean by that? So because I'm using a Game Pass, I'm actually using an Xbox launcher on my PC, or Microsoft launcher, whatever you want to call it. And to launch a Call of Duty, you need to launch a Call of Duty launcher, where you need to choose a Black Ops 6, which will close down the Call of Duty launcher, and then you want to choose which part of Black Ops 6 that you will need to launch, then it will close that one, and it will open the part that you want. Meaning that you can't actually freely go from campaign to multiplayer or to zombies. Every single thing is basically a separate executable and basically a separate game. Who thought that this would be a good idea? Need to be fired and never be let anywhere close to games ever again. Who thought that was a good idea? Thought that even on NVMe SSD it will take around 5 to 6 minutes to actually get to the game, because it's not even doing it fast. And because I haven't played the multiplayer and zombies, I cannot tell you what is happening there. But with the campaign, I can tell you that if you can get it to run, it's actually quite good and quite fun. It ran pretty smoothly for me. I didn't have any crashes at all. I only had one freeze which lasted around a minute, and then it continued the game. I didn't know what was an issue, but maybe it was something with my computer because I have a lot of things running at the same time. And overall, I actually enjoyed this campaign quite a lot, especially for the low price of $12. So if you're playing on a PC, do not get it on Steam for $70. Go and get Game Pass for $12 and get it and play it there, especially if you know that you're gonna play this game only for the few weeks. And yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say about Call of Duty. Oh yeah, if you like Call of Duty, you probably like Hogwarts Legacy and want to know what actually happened to that game, and you can watch my video about that right here. And if you like shooters, there's a chance that you will actually enjoy Rust and find out why this game is actually alive so many years later. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe right here as well, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Take care.